Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. This is my... Can you still hear me? Hello? Yes? Hello? Hello? This is my awesome new sort of backdrop for my... Well, it's my awesome new setup. Also, I can do this as well. But I've got to resist the urge to do this because I'll do it all the time. Check this out. Indeed. That's right, I've got a motorized sit-stand desk, but better off, or more interestingly, I've got all of this fancy stuff behind me, so it's a nicer place to sit and do some work from. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get stuck into the video. Okay, now it's confession time. If you follow me on Twitter, which you should do, which is @UnitLostGaming, I had a confession a couple of days ago, and I was like, I really enjoy watching Overwatch League more so than playing the game. I see these awesome plays. I then go into the game and, well, it's Overwatch competitive. And then I feel sad. Well, I think Overwatch League is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's an awesome thing for the game, and it's had a huge start. So really big viewing figures. Like the most recent games from last Saturday, I think they were getting, like, on the lower end of the viewership, so around 120,000 concurrent viewers. And that was comparable to the LCS, which is the League of Legends Championship Series, which, like, that is insane. For something which has just started, that is really good. And, of course, we all know about those huge viewing figures that Overwatch League had to begin with. That's awesome, and that's fine. However, I have been watching, well, in fact, I've watched all of the games, not live, because some of them start ridiculously early for me in the UK, and I guess for you guys in Europe as well. I think there were some games, there was a Spitfire game I missed live, because it started at 4 a.m, and I couldn't possibly stay awake. In fact, it's been kind of weird for me, because I've come back from LA, and it's like I've not really adapted, like I'm still on LA time, kind of, because I'm getting a bit screwed over by having to stay up so late to watch Overwatch League, and like, I'm basically all over the place, which is not great, and I need to sort out my sleeping pattern. However, there is so much content, there is so much stuff to watch. It is the most beautiful Overwatch. In fact, one of the games, it was the London Spitfire against LA Valiant. This was the best series, like, there has been so far. Two great teams. The best Korean team, potentially, against the best Western team. No doubt about that. I mean, Valiant are the best Western team. And yeah, it was just an awesome series. It was great to watch. I sat there for hours. I'm talking to my friends about it. We're like, I'm even talking to people that don't even play Overwatch, and we're getting really hyped. It's like, wow, this is awesome. Check this out. Look at these plays. Wow, this is great. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And like, I almost miss it right now. Like, I want it back now. I want to watch more Overwatch League, but I'm not playing Overwatch competitive. So it's like Overwatch League has replaced me actually playing Overwatch, which is crazy. Now, there is so much content for Overwatch League. So this is the first sort of, like, this is like a very entitled moan, ladies and gentlemen, because it's like, there's too much content. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, well, I guess I am kind of saying that, right? But basically, you've got the pre-shows, you've got the sort of after-show stuff, you've got all of the other bits and pieces, and of course, you've got the games, and there are loads and loads of games. So there's tons and tons and tons of stuff to actually sit down and watch. Now, I'm watching this when I would be playing Overwatch, if that makes any sense to you guys. So if I'm going to watch like 6 hours of Overwatch League, that's probably what I would be doing every day, playing 6 hours of Overwatch. Well, I can't play 6 hours of Overwatch, watch 6 hours of Overwatch, and then do unit loss stuff, because there just ain't enough time in a day. It's like, it's crazy. Anyway, this is what happens. I've got some notes on my screen here just to sort of run through some points. So you go in and you watch an Overwatch League game and you're like, wow, this is awesome, right? The teams are coordinated. Everybody's working, well, they're coordinated within reason, right? Everyone's working towards a strategy. There are hero synergy picks. This is great. This is awesome. You watch a team roll out some fantastic strategy. You watch them destroy the opposition. You're like, wow, this is awesome. You watch players like, I don't know, Birdring, and you see him on Widowmaker and you think, wow, I'm going to go into competitive and I'm going to play Widowmaker. Or maybe you watch Seagull and you see him playing Hanzo and you're like, wow, look at his Hanzo on Junkertown. I'm going to go into competitive and I'm going to play Hanzo. You go into competitive and you pick the hero you want to play because, hey, that's what you can do right now. And then your team flame you, or your team don't work together, or you don't have people in voice comms, and we're back to Overwatch competitive. And then you're like, well, that's a bit of a letdown. However, the games I've played this season so far, I haven't played many. I've only played about 20 or so games since I've got back from LA, because, like I said, I've been watching Overwatch League primarily. Most of them have just been typical Overwatch ranked experience where people just lock the hero in and they're like, whatever, I'm just going to play whatever I want, so screw you kind of thing. I think I put the funny little jokey tweet out about the Torbjorn where I was like, look at this guy, right? that guy's a known troll, by the way. Anyway, he's in the game and he's just like throwing the match intentionally, and it's like, oh come on. First game back, it was literally the first game on the Stylosa account that was, and I'm just like, oh my days. Welcome back to Overwatch Competitive. I've just been watching loads of really high level, super fun Overwatch, and then I go into the game and it's almost like solo. Well, it is solo queue, but it's like solo practice. You just sort of go in and do whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. Who cares about coordination? And that's what Overwatch is about. It's about teamwork and it's about coordination. And that's exactly what all of the Overwatch League stuff promotes. That's why it makes me sad when I look at my notes and I'm like, my notes say this, right? So I have more fun watching the league than playing the league, than playing Overwatch, which is fine. You look at insane plays and think, wow, I want to replicate that, but you can't. Comp is the same old roll the dice, hope to get a good team, although I use more colourful language there, and then you feel demoralised when it's not a good team. Because when you lose in Overwatch, often it's not because you've been outplayed by the enemy team, it's just because your team don't want to win. You know, you get the age-old thing of maybe you've got one support, and you'll get people moaning at the support saying, hey, play Mercy. But that support player might not want to play Mercy. So maybe the people moaning at that player should actually pick up the other support, whether that's Mercy or Zen or Lucy or whatever, to try and help win. But that's never the case in competitive, and it's always heartbreaking. Owl promotes the best of the game, and it does. It really, really does. I am shocked how watchable this is. I watch it and I'm like, wow, these strategies are awesome. Yeah, I'm part of London Spitfire, so I get to see behind the scenes. When I was over in LA, I was watching the way they train. I was seeing all of their setup and everything, and it's fantastic to see that. It's like, wow, this is awesome. This is like the future of Overwatch. I guess is a bit strong, but this is like the best Overwatch you're going to see kind of thing, and that's exactly what we want. Then I look back to my notes and I'm like, you jump into competitive and you don't see teamwork. You just see basically the opposite, which is not great. However, it's at its best when it's a 6-stack. So when you're playing in a 6-stack, it's awesome. Now, I've only played in a couple of 6-stacks, so I always go on about that ESL Cup I played in, like, years ago now, basically. That was awesome. That was, I think that was open beta of Overwatch, possibly, when I did that. Fantastic. Recently, I took part in the Yogscast Jingle Jam, where they do the big sort of fundraising thing in December, and that was awesome because I played with a load of other streamers. We got together. They were really good players. They were all like top 500 players, so we all played together in a team, and it was awesome. I mean, I was playing on a terrible setup as well. I'm like using some computer with a 60 hertz monitor, which is not great when I'm used to like 144. I didn't have my awesome totally not product placed at all. I mean, of course it is because HyperX sponsored me. My HyperX Pulsefire mouse. I didn't have that with me. I just had some like random Logitech mouse, and I still had an awesome time because that's when Overwatch is the best. That's why I always say. That's why I've got all of this stuff behind me. That's why I'm addicted to Overwatch, because it is a fantastic game when people work together. The problem is you go into competitive and it's a bit of a random gamble. It's like, please, I hope. I mean, I played a game of Numbani on it was on the Spitfire account. This was, and basically, the team picked a really iffy bunch of heroes to begin with that wouldn't have made a team comment. Hello, 5 DPS, and I was Orisa. I'm like, oh no. But 2 of the DPS went back and swapped to supports, yeah? And actually people were talking on the microphone, and this was a really, really good game. We held first point, and then we took the first point of Numbani pretty much straight away. But that's because people were willing to work together. Normally, what happens there is those DPS just stay as DPS. Some of them won't be in the voice chat. Some of them won't even communicate. And then you have to try and work with it, and it feels really bad. This is why I believe it's a bit of a double-edged sword Overwatch League can be, because you look at it, and on the one hand, it's like, okay, this is the way Overwatch should be played. So now I'm going to go into Overwatch Competitive, which is the path to pro, and I'm going to get better at the game and make my way to Overwatch League. Okay, a crazy dream, and it's probably not going to happen, is it? But that type of mentality is what they're trying to sell you. You go into competitive, and you're just like, oh, there's a nice fellow on the microphone there who seems to be throwing expletives at me. What is this team comp? What's going on, guys? Oh dear, and it's bad. So this brings us round to the age-old debate, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Role select, when? Preferred role queue, when? 6-stack, when? They can't keep showing us Overwatch League, how the game is meant to be played. Like, I'm looking up here, right, because that's where I've got my TV. I can't turn my camera around because it will just destroy my setup. But I watch Overwatch League up there, and it's friggin' awesome. It's like, wow, this is the pinnacle of the game. I'm loving it. I got really pumped when I was watching the Spitfire Valiant game because it went the complete distance. It was awesome, right? I got my watch on my arm, my heart rate's like 120. I'm like, whoa, I'm really getting into it. That's never happened to me with any esport. Yeah, I know I'm sort of part of Spitfire, so I am like, I've got a bit of a vested interest. Like, I want them to do well, yeah? But that's what it's about, being a fan. And I've never experienced that with any kind of esport. I have with traditional sports, because, like, I'm a big football fan, or soccer. I guess some of you guys might call it, but I mean, it's football. So I watch a lot of those games. I can get really into those games as well. But Overwatch League is awesome. And then I'm like, yes, I'm going to get my Tracer Spitfire skin. I'm going to become Prophet. I'm going to go into the game, and I pick Tracer, and then everybody else picks DPS, and I'm like, okay, I'll tank, guys, and then nobody's a healer or something, and it's like, it drives me crazy. Let me know, guys, what you think about all of this stuff. Is it right what I'm saying? Like, judging off the interaction from the tweet I made, a lot of people were retweeting this and a lot of people were liking it. So I think there is some sort of truth in what's going on here. We get to see this ultra high level Overwatch. We then want to go and play Overwatch, but what we get is nowhere near that level of experience unless we're really lucky and we happen to get, you know, let's be real here, right, guys? The Overwatch meta is this: 2 supports, 2 tanks, 2 DPS. That's the meta, right? Yes, sometimes you might see a solo support, yeah? We've seen certain builds off like Soul Dynasty, and I think even Spitfire did it, where they just take 1 support. But basically, 2 supports, 2 healers, 2 tanks. When are we going to get like a preferred role queue that puts 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 2 DPS together? I'm telling you right now, guys, if they did that, your games will go from 20% good to 80% good, right? Suddenly, like you would have a workable team. I'm choking. I'm choking because I'm like I almost feel like, I know the devs don't want to do this, but I feel like this is, we're reaching a point where we need something in the game, as I choke to them, which is actually going to give this to us, which is going to replicate the experience that Overwatch League gives us now. They either do that through a preferred role queue, they either do that through a 6-stack queue, which actually, Overwatch Competitive, when it first came out, that's how it was. You had to be in a full 6-stack. You couldn't just go in on your own, but they got rid of that quick. Why don't they have some sort of tournament system in the game? Maybe these are things they're all working on. I know a lot of this takes a ton of work and you can't just do it overnight, but I don't know. I look back to the preferred role select for the Christmas, well, the Winter Wonderland event with the Yeti or the May, where you could decide to be kind of one or the other. So I'm hoping we maybe see something like that in the future. I don't know. Anyway, guys, you can tell I'm really passionate about this because I want to play Overwatch and have as much fun as I see on Overwatch League. But right now, don't think that's the case. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, guys, as well. I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like the new setup as well. It's taken me ages to get this ready, and I'm really tired. But anyway, it's awesome. All right, guys, catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.